Hi there, I'm meteorologist Nash Rhodes with myfoxhurricane.com, and I've got a quick update on what's happening in the tropics. All eyes are currently on the central Caribbean as Hurricane Beryl is still a Category 4 hurricane approaching the island of Jamaica. Now, this is going to make a close pass or a potential landfall as we head into the next few hours. Hurricane warnings are in effect for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands at this stage in time. Unfortunately, some storm surge, some damaging wind gusts, and additionally some mudslides will be possible as this passes through the island. So our thoughts are with Jamaica today. This is eventually going to work its way downstream, potentially weakening from the 145-mile-per-hour winds that we currently have with the 11 a.m. advisory. And as we play this forward over the next few days, notice it starts to weaken just a little bit, down to a Category 2 hurricane now as it approaches the Yucatan Peninsula. And again, those hurricane warnings are in effect now downstream. These just issued with the 11 a.m. advisory as confidence continues to grow that a landfall somewhere within this region, likely north of Belize, is what we're anticipating. Now, typically when these systems move over land, they fall apart very quickly and get disorganized. Notice this is not going to spend a long period of time over the peninsula. And additionally, this is not mountainous terrain. So sometimes mountains can have impacts on these storms where they tear them apart and kind of disrupt the wind flow. I don't see that happening with this terrain, and more models continue to reform this as a tropical storm on the backside of this peninsula, re-entering it into the Gulf of Mexico and potentially taking a little bit of a turn to the north as it does so. Notice a strengthening pattern with the latest update from the Hurricane Center. Category 1 hurricane as we head into Sunday morning, and it begins to take that turn toward eastern Mexico or perhaps the Texas coastline. We're going to be watching this whole system very carefully, depending on how quickly this storm strengthens and how much a ridge of high pressure just north of it breaks down. That'll have everything to do with where it goes next. Right now, that ridge is in place and keeping this south of Florida and south of Cuba. But if we play this out, you can see this area of high pressure sliding a little bit farther to the east. Notice this takes more of a turn to the north. So depending on how strong that area is, and additionally how weak or strong the system is, we could see a bit more of a turn to the north. And our latest forecast model plots now reflect that. High confidence this goes through the peninsula, and then that slight shift to the north starts to occur as this approaches potentially the coast of Texas or the coast of eastern Mexico, and potentially even as far north. Impacts could be felt from this up in Louisiana. So all the western Gulf Coast needs to be paying at least attention to this system and continue monitoring it as it continues its Category 4 status at the moment. Just behind Beryl, we are watching Invest 96L. A fairly weak and disorganized system in comparison to what we were tracking just a few days ago. At the moment, a low 20% chance of this forming over the next 7 days, and it's going to be entering into a very hostile environment. Already it's shrouded in Saharan dust, which is drying out this system and sapping up all of the tropical moisture that it needs to try and form. Additionally, a little bit of wind shear is going to get a hold of this. So now those odds really starting to fall in comparison to the high odds we had a few days ago. And even if this forms, it would likely stay on the weaker side. I do want to show you the next name up on our storm naming list would be Debbie, if that gets a name, or any other tropical waves or systems out and about. If anything else forms, we'll keep you up to speed right here at myfoxhurricane.com.